So, as this historic winter storm is about to hit much of the US, there's a few things that I think about, which I didn't now understand, which I did not understand when I was a climate activist. One, way more people die from cold than from heat. Cold is so much more dangerous than heat, and it's something like 10 to 1 in regards to deaths globally. So, 10 times more people die from cold than from heat. And in fact, because of the modest warming that we've seen over the past 150 years, we've actually saved lives because even though heat deaths have slightly risen, cold deaths have declined more. So, it's something like a net of 166,000 lives have been saved from the warmer temperatures. But talking about why cold is so much more dangerous than heat, it's something I never thought about when I was in the climate movement. But now, as we're seeing these storms barreling toward much of the country, parts of the country that aren't used to having snow or ice, they're going to probably be out. There's going to be regions that are going to be out of power for days and even up to a week. I'm seeing estimates of, not to fearmonger, but that's what the meteorologists are saying. And in these times, what we need more than anything in the world is reliable energy. What is not going to be working during this storm? Solar, because it's going to be under snow, and wind, because of the ice, it's going to be stuck and no longer viable. And so what do you need? You need oil and gas and oil really for your cars, gas and coal for your electricity, nuclear, geothermal, if that exists, hydro, depending on the energy mix. You're going to need those reliable 24/7, 365 energies. And this makes so much sense when you think about it for more than 5 seconds, right? But as a climate activist, I was so in groupthink that my critical thinking stopped at renewables good, oil and gas bad. I never really took it any further than that, which is very sad and embarrassing to admit. But also, this highlights why solar and wind don't bring our carbon emissions down, and it's because you always need to have backup energy. Because what's going to happen right now is when the solar and the wind stop working during this storm, they're going to have to, on those grid areas where they rely on renewables, really ramp up the coal and the natural gas, which is obviously carbon emissions. And so even when they're working at their best, solar and wind are only about 20 to 30% of the time are they giving you reliable energy because the wind doesn't always blow, the sun doesn't always shine. And so you have to have this backup energy ready to go at all times. And a lot of the times it's in the form of these generators that can be turned on really quickly, which are less efficient than a natural gas plant, which is always running. So you can make it more efficient, or coal, which is always running. And so again, why I speak out about solar and wind all the time and why it's not the future is because it's not reliable. And when this storm hits, we're going to really see the importance of reliable energy. It's life-saving.